On this episode of All the Mods 10, we set up 4 wardens to be soul surged. We set up simulated hydroponic beds and surge them. And we put a bandage over our channel issues. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. I don't know if last episode I updated or it was in between episodes, but anyways, we're on the latest version of All the Mods 10, which is 2.47. And in this update, we have a new addition to industrial foregoing, which is the simulated hydroponic beds. So we are going to switch to these today, but I also thought since we planned on setting up the soul surging for wardens over here, we might as well do that too, and then we can use it to assist us with the simulated hydroponic beds. So let's get started with that. This area is actually going to be a little too small. Let's go ahead and do some destruction gadget shenanigans, and I want a 7x7. And this area we can do with our building gadget. And then we will use our exchanging gadget to finish up the rest. Okay, so we have a 7x7 box with these things. And we're going to set up our warden in here. You know what? This is a 6x7. So let's move this wall back. One more block. Okay, now it's a 7x7. And let's put our wireless connector in the center there. Okay, so in order to set up our soul surging, the way it works is you set up the soul surge device. Let's look at this guy, the soul laser base. So you set up a soul laser base above a warden, and you put your drills from industrial foregoing around it, and that will, with the blue lens inside, and that will suck the warden of souls. And then you can use those souls to speed up the processing times of different machines. I am going to set up 4 of these guys just for fun. So we'll use the stasis chamber to keep the wardens stationary in a spot, and this also heals them. So as the soul surging damages them, they'll be healed with these. So these guys will go over here, and let's grab our add-ons. I made a bunch of tier 4 add-ons, and we can go ahead and put these in all of the stasis chambers. Okay, and then we will have the wardens 1 block above. And above that, we will have whatever these things are called. We'll need 4 soul laser bases, as well as 16 of the drills. This is a pretty simple setup, to be honest. And then these guys will just go like so. Okay, so I have a stasis chamber with a 1 block gap in between. Directly above that is the soul laser base, and then we have these laser drills pointing into the soul laser base. You can make it go faster by putting more laser drills, but this should be enough for our needs. So these guys, the stasis chambers, have all of their tier upgrades, and then the laser drills, we will give them all upgrades as well. And finally, the soul laser base gets the lens and 2 of these upgrades. It takes the processing and the efficiency ones. It does not take the speed ones. Okay, so that's everything. And the way we're going to move around souls is by hooking it up to our applied energistic system. And that's really easy to do. We just need some storage buses. And the storage bus goes on top of the soul laser base. And we connect those with some flukes cables. And why don't we color these, let's say, oh, like a dark, can we do navy? No, only normal dyes. How about cyan? That's a little too bright. Blue, black. Let's do black. And that's going to come down from our wireless connector, go off to the side. Like so. And we will need to, what's the other thing? We'll need to connect our wireless connector. So let's get our wireless connector transmitter setup kit thing. And we can link this up to a wireless connector up here. So here's our problem. With this setup over here, we're running into the issue I mentioned in a previous episode where I said this is a bad setup because all of these channels are getting combined together and coming through this cable. So this cable is 32 of 32 channels. So let's, for now, remove this guy. Does that fix our problem? Still 32 of 32, and we're missing one thing still. For now, I'm just going to put this guy over here so we can get on with the episodes, and I think in between episodes I will try to remedy this situation. I want to think about it and see how I want to set it up. So we'll set it here for now, and set it up one more time. With that guy, and we'll see that these guys are all online. Okay, so we are effectively set up. The only other thing we need to do is power all of these guys. And the way I want to do that, so we need to power the stasis chambers and all of the laser drills, which is a lot of stuff. Let's get an flux accessor. And we can try to do it with the Just Dire Things energy transmitter. The energy transmitter is nice because it can do a whole area. So if we set this up, you can see everything inside of this box should be getting power. The issue is it's not able to keep up. So we can, I guess we can make 2. And we'll hide the other one behind here. Let's turn off that guy. And we'll go down one more. Oh, not this one. This one. Okay. These guys are now keeping up. So the two of these energy transmitters will do it. This prevents us from having to put in a bunch of additional cables and stuff. Now, some of you that have set this up before will know that there's not enough room between the stasis chamber and the soul laser base for a warden, because the wardens are big. I have a little trick up my sleeve for that. We have tiny wardens. Before we do anything else, let me silence this guy. Okay, so once you set up your anchor, you set up the radius of how far you want this noise to be silenced. You can name it whatever you want. You can press accept, and then if you look under the recent sounds, you'll see the warden. You can also just search entity.warden, and you'll be able to silence him that way. So we don't have to listen to that annoying thing anymore. And we set these guys up. And this is all set up. So we have a bunch of cute, tiny little wardens. And with this guy, it's building up the soul storage. And if we look at our AE2 system, you can see that here we have warden souls getting stored in our AE2 system. And we can access that from anywhere. All we have to do is just put it in an interface, and then we can pull the pipes from our soul surge. So this is, oh, and the way that I got these guys small, I forgot to mention, is with the personal shrinking device. You can make any mob big or small. Let's grab this sheep. So you can make the sheep small, or you can make him extremely large. Oh, and he died. Great. 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 He died because he got suffocated in a wall, I guess. But anyways, this also works on different mobs and things. So you can make your warden small to make it more space saving. All right, let's close this guy in. There is also that noise we don't want. So let's go ahead and do that. Warden ambient. In fact, we can press all and go entity.warden and angry, agitated, sniffing also, I think. Listening, sniff. So we'll mute those sounds. All right, so with these guys, let's see how they work by going down here. We can go ahead and look at these guys. So let's make, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 321 of these guys. You can add this to any side of the device. And the more sides you add, the faster it makes it. So each side makes it like twice as fast or 3 times as fast. But because of space constraints, we're only going to use it on one side for now. So we'll do that, and then you can connect them like so. So these guys are all connected together, and we'll just connect it down to this interface. And we want to stock souls in there, and we can do that, not like that. Like that. So you right click or middle click, and they have warden souls, and we'll set up, can we do 1,000? Okay, so we have our warden souls in there. Let's take a look to see if our supply is going down. It's not. So we're able to keep up with it, which is great. And you can see these guys are running much, much faster now. The problem is it's not keeping up with water. So let's see how this is doing. Input fluid from interface and output to the hydroponic beds. We need to stock more water in here. 4 buckets is not enough. How about 64 buckets? Okay, that is able to keep it up now. And the way the simulated ones work is we go ahead and make these simulation processors, which is, observers, and it's with some plastic, it's easy to make. So let's go to make a few of those. I already set up recipes for it. How about 21? Okay, and oops. Seriously, these don't stack? That's a shame. All right, and we're gonna set that in there. And you can see that the executions and the efficiency is going up. And the longer you wait, the more efficient it gets. I believe for it to get to efficiency of 1, so efficiency 1 is 200 executions, so 200 times that the seed has grown. To get to efficiency 2, it's 40,000. So it picks up really, really quickly. I'll post a little, somebody made a chart and posted it on the All the Mods 10 Discord server. So I'll post that on the screen so you guys can take a look at how many executions you need to do for the different efficiencies. This does continue to upgrade and get more and more efficient inside of the simulated hydroponic beds as well. So that is, it'll continue to get better, similar to how the hostile neural network ones work. So as you grow them, even in the simulation ones, it'll get more and more efficient. So I'm not too worried about it. We just are going to use it like this, and it'll be good enough for us. It's already quite fast. The nice thing about the simulated one is you don't need to feed it like water, ether gas, or any of those things. You do need to give it power, but you don't need to do water or ether gas, so that's nice. Another thing is the crux underneath. You do not need to do the crux either. So I am going to make ones for nether stars as well, because that'll be good. Okay, so these guys are going. We're going to wait for a while until these guys do 40,000 executions, which won't take too long. You can also time one them. So if I time one this guy, you can see how fast he's going. Absolutely ridiculous. He's already at 1,200 executions, whereas this one is not that fast. So we can just go ahead and speed up. Oops. Speed up all these guys. And if you're wondering how I'm able to use my time wand without having to fill it with more and more time fluid, you do that with an export card. And your export card goes inside of your wireless terminal over here. And you can look at your export card settings. And I have time fluid inside of the first slot. So this will export time fluid to everything that is labeled as slot 1. And the way you label slots is by just clicking on it. And if you click more, it'll go to 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 5 would fill in whatever you have in this slot. So you can go ahead and put everything on your hotbar as slot number 1. And if your time wand is in any of those slots, it'll automatically get time fluid exported from your system into those. So I have mine slot 1 set up as the second thing. That's where I keep my time wand, and that will keep it filled up with time fluid. So I can use it without having to fill it up. All right, so while these guys are getting trained with these things, that's great. We are going to set up the other ones. So it was 21 of these guys. I think. Yeah, so we can set them up in the walls on the sides. Or should we replace... I guess we'll replace these guys with them too. The simulated ones are more lag friendly. So they would be good to use. But I'm wondering how I want to set it up. And it also doesn't require, like, you can have them like that on top of each other. So you can double the number in each wall. And and another thing is the amount of progress that it takes is much longer than the normal one. So that's something to watch out for. Like if we fully upgrade this guy, you can see that it takes 360 ticks for it to progress. But if you look at these guys, it's only 60 ticks. So every 60 ticks, it grows. Whereas this one happens every 360 ticks. And it uses 3 times as much power, which power is not an issue for us. What else? And based on the efficiency, the number of essence or whatever, the output that it produces will be multiplied. So this one right now, like at an efficiency of 2, the potential drops is going to be 2 times however much it would be for 1. And I did a test with nature seeds, and with a efficiency of 2, I was getting 10 essence per execution. So every 360 ticks, I was getting 10 of the essences, and you can soul surge it to make it go faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait a little bit longer until these guys all get to efficiency of 2, which will take a little bit because again, it's exponential. So almost 5,000 executions we're already at 1.6 efficiency. But in order to get to efficiency of 2, that has to go up to 40,000. So we're just a little over 10% of the way there. But it's only been a couple of minutes, so it really doesn't take that long. You can just wait a few minutes, and let's say like the dye ones, right? So I pick that guy up, and I break the dye seed. The simulation processor goes in the green one, and then the seed goes into the other one, and you feed it some sort of power, and this guy will start to grow. So again, each time it's ticking, it's going to give us 10 dye essence. Or about 10. So that's a way, and it's fully simulated, so it's not growing like this in the world. It doesn't require light, it doesn't require water, it doesn't require ether gas, and it's more lag friendly. So we are going to swap over all of our seeds to these guys. All right, so let me go ahead and wait a little bit longer and set this guy up in the walls, and we'll be back. Alrighty, you guys, it has been a little while later, and these guys are above tier 2 efficiency. So I'm going to move them over into all of these simulated hydroponic beds. I set them in the wall here, and behind them is a bunch of Super Factory Manager cables in the wall. So you can see it's all the green blocks back here connected to the hydroponic beds. I went ahead and changed our program. So then we have simulator beds here added to the FE output, and then as well as another 20 ticks due, and we're going to input from the simulator beds and then output those to the interface. So that is set up. We just need to label those guys. So we pull the labels, hold control, label all those guys. Now these should all have power. I want to go ahead and put my upgrades in all of these, and rather than doing it manually by opening each one and putting the things in there, Industrial Foregoing now has a machine settings copier. So you can go ahead and shift right click on a machine, and it's going to have the settings copied. So then once that's done, this one already has things in there. You can just shift right click and also settings stored. And now you can see this machine has the same exact settings as this one, which we copied from, which includes the add-ons. So you can see this one has nothing. We shift right click, and then it has the add-ons. So with this, we can go like so, and add the add-ons to all of these guys. Okay, so you can see my inventory is empty, and these guys should all have the add-ons. Okay, now you can see there's some weirdness going on over here. There is a mod called Camol that lets you basically disguise any block as something else, and you make these camo blocks, and you can combine it with anything, like let's say cobblestone, for example. And now we're going to get blocks that are, excuse me, we can disguise any block as cobblestone. We just right click on that block. So you can see that this is still a factory block, but it looks like cobblestone. So I tried to do that same thing with these guys. And I wanted to put, oops, let's try the, what is it, soul pipe? I think maybe I may have done it wrong. So here we have some soul pipes. We're going to put the soul pipes down on the ground over here to connect them. Then we take the factory block, this guy, and we combine it with that. And we can go ahead and basically hide these soul pipes underground, even though they don't have, you know, a facade of their own. This mod Camol allows you to basically do that. So now that is running underground. You can see it's speeding up all of these guys. So these guys are soul surged. And we can go ahead and do the same thing to these guys, and they will all be soul surged as well. Okay, so let's move over our things. So for example, this guy, which is doing nitro crystals, we can put it over here, for example. So we put the seed in there, we put the simulator thing in there, and you can see even though that it has no crux underneath it, it's still able to produce nitro crystals or nitro crystal essence, because with the simulators you don't need a crux underneath. And this doesn't have ether gas or water either, so it's just going to work. And each time it's producing 10, but if we put it over here like so, you can see each time it grows. Let's slow it down a little bit. It's only producing 1 to 3, or just 1 to 2 maybe. So even though this one works a little bit slower, it produces more. That's because of the efficiency multiplier, and that can go up to 10x, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So let's break all of these guys. Okay, and we can break these as well. I am going to keep, well, I don't know. I don't know if I should switch this wall to simulators as well. I mean, this one wall should probably be enough. But there's a chance I might turn, like, we need to have at least one hydroponic bed set up that can do, that we can make more simulator tablet things. These guys, what are they called? More hydroponic simulation processors. So we'll need those to be able to populate more of these guys. But for now, we can just Get rid of all the essences in here so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, and the rest of it will be seeds. And we also need to grab of these guys. Okay, so all of the seeds that we had are in up to, this is the last one. So we can do this. Now all of these guys will also be soul surged. So they're working a little bit quicker than before now. And it's fully simulated. Okay, so I will, in between episodes, make a little, maybe inside of this wall, I'll make, or how about this wall? I'll make a setup with 4 times soul surging on a hydroponic bed that we can train the simulators on. And that will make it a little bit easier to make more seeds in the future. But for now, those are good. And let's take a look at our souls. You can see that is keeping up plenty. And let me show you the changes I made to my wireless connectors. Because remember, I was having that power or that issue where I didn't have enough channels. And the reason for that is all of these guys, because they're touching, they're connecting and passing channels in between. So everything was trying to go through one cable. So the way I separate it is just by doing different colors. And you can see each line is a different color that's going to a different face of our controller. Okay, so we have blue, purple, magenta, pink, and red. And in the back here, all of the cables are that color, and the wireless connector has to be the same color to match, to be able to connect to the dense cable. And the way I did that, I just set up all of the wireless connectors, and I set up regular Fluix cables, and I used the color applicator. Okay, and you can shift scroll in between all of the different colors. Let's say this one's cyan, and I can shift right click to change these guys all to cyan. If you take a look at the top, it says color cyan. And you can see all of these devices are offline because the cable is red and the connectors are cyan, so they're not going to connect. But you can middle click to block select, so now you can see that it's red, and we can turn those all back to red and they're going to connect again. So that's kind of how I did that. And the way you get colors in there is I went ahead and you can just put dyes in there. And so if you go to the cell workbench and put your color applicator in there, I just searched at Minecraft and did dye. And you can add all of these dyes in here to partition it, and also add snowballs, and snowballs will do the Fluix color. So they'll make it go back to the normal Fluix thing that connects to everything. And then once that was done, I made sure to put an equal distribution card in there. So if I have like 1,000 white dyes, it doesn't fill my entire thing with white dyes, so it doesn't allow me to put any other dyes in there, any other colors. And then I made sure I had all of those colors in my AE2 system, and you just put it inside of your IO port like that, and it'll pull all the dyes and the snowballs and everything into your color applicator. You can also do it from an EMI chest and then put it in there, but I already had this set up and it's easy to do it that way. All right. I believe I'm going to leave this episode here. So today we fixed our situation with our wireless controllers and set up soul sucking from the wardens. We set up 4 of those guys, which is nice. You can add more laser drills to make it faster, but I didn't want it to look like it's out of control, and so this is good enough for me. And we also set up all of these simulated hydroponic beds. And just to show you, this guy right now is at 60,132. So you can see each time it executes, it goes up by 1. So as this works, it will become more and more efficient. It just takes a really long time for you to build up efficiency past like 2 times efficiency. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.